Have you ever wondered why some people suddenly come back after walking away? After ignoring you, replacing you, or treating you like you never mattered? One day, they return. Not because you chased them, not because you begged them, but because they realized what they lost. The Stoics understood something that most people never do. People often fail to appreciate value while they still have it. Only when it's gone, do they truly understand its worth. In this video, you'll discover the Stoic psychology behind why people come back, why chasing them is always a mistake, and what emotionally strong people do instead. Stay until the end, because the final lesson could completely change the way you see relationships forever. Most people believe that if someone leaves, the story is over. The Stoics saw it differently. They believed that every decision has consequences. When people walk away from someone who brought peace, loyalty, and respect into their life, they don't always understand what they've lost right away. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes months, sometimes years. Time has a way of revealing value that emotions once ignored. That's why emotionally strong people never chase those who choose to leave. They let time become the teacher. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that you cannot control another person's choices. You can only control your own character. The moment you begin chasing someone who has already decided to leave, you give away your power. Your peace begins to depend on their decision. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. Protect your dignity, respect their choice, and continue building your own life. Because the strongest response to rejection is not desperation. It's quiet self-respect. In this video, you'll discover why people often return, why chasing them almost never works, and how Stoic wisdom helps you stay calm when someone walks away. The goal isn't revenge. The goal isn't proving them wrong. The goal is becoming so strong that your happiness no longer depends on whether someone stays or leaves. Now, let's begin with the first reason people always come back. Reason number one, they took your presence for granted. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that someone valuable will always be there. When your kindness becomes familiar, people stop noticing it. When your loyalty becomes consistent, they begin to expect it. The Stoics understood that people often fail to appreciate what they see every day, not because it lacks value, but because they have become comfortable. Only after losing something rare do many people realize how important it truly was. That's when regret begins. Seneca believed that people often recognize value only after experiencing its absence. The same happens in relationships. Your silence becomes louder than your words ever were. Your absence becomes more noticeable than your presence. The routines they ignored, the support they expected, the peace they took for granted, suddenly disappears. And that's when reality replaces assumption. This is why chasing someone rarely creates respect. It only delays the lesson they need to learn. Strong people don't force others to see their value. They continue growing. They continue living with dignity. And if someone eventually realizes what they lost, that realization belongs to them. Remember this Stoic lesson. People rarely appreciate your value while you're always available. Sometimes your absence teaches what your presence never could. Reason number two, they expected you to chase them. Sometimes people don't leave because they want the relationship to end. They leave because they expect you to run after them. They expect long messages, constant calls, endless apologies, and desperate attempts to win them back. The Stoics warned against placing your self-worth in another person's hands. The moment you beg someone to stay, you stop acting from strength. You start acting from fear. Real confidence never needs to chase acceptance. Marcus Aurelius believed that your peace should never depend on another person's approval. If someone chooses to walk away, respect their decision, not because you don't care, but because you respect yourself. Strong people understand that love without dignity becomes dependence, and dependence is never the foundation of a healthy relationship. The right people never require you to abandon your self-respect just to keep them. When you refuse to chase, something unexpected happens. People begin to question their own decision. They wonder why you stayed calm, why you didn't beg, why your life continued without them. That's when curiosity replaces certainty. Remember this Stoic lesson. Never chase someone who willingly walks away. Your silence often says more about your strength than 1,000 desperate words ever could. Reason number three, they couldn't replace what you gave them. Many people believe they can always find someone better. They focus on appearances, excitement, or temporary emotions. But the Stoics understood that real value is rarely obvious at first. Loyalty, peace, honesty, and genuine respect. These qualities are difficult to replace. Only after meeting people who lack them do many realize what they once had. By then, regret has already begun. Seneca believed that people often recognize the value of something only after losing it. The same is true in relationships. A person may find someone new, but they soon discover that attention is not the same as loyalty. Chemistry is not the same as trust. And excitement is not the same as peace. What they thought was ordinary turns out to be rare. That's when comparison becomes unavoidable. Strong people never try to prove they're irreplaceable. They simply live with integrity. They treat others with respect. They stay true to their values. And if someone leaves, they don't chase them to prove their worth. Remember this Stoic lesson. Your value isn't determined by the person who walked away. It's revealed by the character you keep, even after they leave. The right people recognize that value before it's too late. Reason number 4. Time changed their perspective. When emotions are intense, people often make decisions they later regret. In the heat of the moment, pride can feel like confidence. Distance can feel like freedom. And leaving can seem like the right choice. But the Stoics understood that emotions fade. Reality remains. As time passes, excitement disappears. And people begin to judge their decisions more clearly. That's when many realize they didn't lose a problem. They lost someone who truly cared. Marcus Aurelius believed that wisdom comes from seeing things as they truly are, not as temporary emotions make them appear. Time has a way of removing illusions. Without constant emotions influencing their judgment, people begin remembering your patience, your loyalty, your kindness. The qualities they once ignored suddenly become impossible to forget. Sometimes, distance reveals what closeness was hiding. Strong people don't wait for someone to come back. They continue building a meaningful life. They grow. They heal. They become stronger with every challenge. And if someone returns because time changed their perspective, that's their journey, not yours. Remember this Stoic lesson. Never pause your life waiting for someone to realize your value. Your greatest responsibility is to keep moving forward, with or without them. Reason number 5. They finally grew up. Not every person who leaves is the same person months or years later. Life has a way of teaching lessons that no advice ever could. Failure, loneliness, disappointment, loss. These experiences force people to mature. The Stoics believe that suffering, when faced with wisdom, can transform a person's character. Sometimes people don't come back because they miss your attention. They come back because life finally taught them the value of what they once ignored. Marcus Aurelius believed that every hardship carries an opportunity to become wiser. The same is true for relationships. Some people need to lose something before they understand its importance. Only after facing disappointment elsewhere do they begin to appreciate the peace, loyalty, and stability they once had. Growth changes perspective, and a new perspective often changes old decisions. That's why time can completely transform the way someone sees you. But here's the Stoic warning. Just because someone comes back doesn't mean you must welcome them back. People can change, but they can also repeat old patterns. Don't judge them by their apology alone. Judge them by their actions. Real change is proven through consistent behavior, not emotional promises. Protect your peace first. Forgiveness is your choice. Trust must always be earned again. Reason number 6. They realize you were their peace. In the beginning, many people chase excitement, constant attention, endless validation. But with time, they discover that excitement fades. What truly lasts is peace. The Stoics believe that inner peace is one of life's greatest treasures. If you were the person who brought calm instead of chaos, respect instead of manipulation, and loyalty instead of games, your value becomes clearer only after you're gone. That's why some people come back. Not because they found something better, but because they finally understood what they lost. Marcus Aurelius never measured the value of a person by how exciting they were. He measured them by their character. Peace cannot be faked. It's created through patience, honesty, respect, and emotional stability. Many people don't recognize these qualities until they spend time with those who constantly create stress and uncertainty. Only then do they realize that calm is not boring. Calm is rare, and rare things become valuable once they're gone. Strong people never try to convince others of their value. They don't beg to be appreciated. They don't compete for attention. They simply continue living according to their principles. And if someone eventually comes back, it should never be because you abandoned your self-respect to win them over. Remember this Stoic lesson. Your greatest strength is not making someone miss you. Your greatest strength is becoming the kind of person who remains at peace, whether they return or never come back. That is true emotional freedom. Reason number 7. They mistook your kindness for weakness. Kindness is often misunderstood. Some people see patience as weakness. They mistake forgiveness for a lack of standards. And they believe your calm nature means you'll always tolerate disrespect. The Stoics rejected this way of thinking. They believed that kindness without wisdom becomes self-sacrifice. Real strength is being compassionate while still knowing when to walk away. When you finally stop accepting poor treatment, many people are surprised because they never expected your silence to have limits. Marcus Aurelius understood that self-respect and kindness can exist together. You don't have to become cold to become strong. You simply have to stop rewarding disrespect. The moment you establish healthy boundaries, people who benefited from your unlimited patience often become uncomfortable, not because you've changed, but because they can no longer take advantage of your kindness. A person who truly values you will respect your boundaries. The one who doesn't only valued your lack of them. Strong people never confuse kindness with weakness. They know when to forgive, and they know when to let go. They don't beg to be respected. They simply remove themselves from places where respect no longer exists. Remember this Stoic lesson. The moment you stop accepting less than you deserve, people begin to see you differently. Some will respect you more. Others will walk away. Either way, you win. Because protecting your self-respect is always more valuable than keeping someone who never truly valued it. Reason number 8. They realized no one believed in them the way you did. Support is easy to overlook when it's always there. You encouraged them when they doubted themselves. You listened when no one else had time. You believed in their potential, even when they couldn't see it. But many people don't recognize that kind of loyalty until it's gone. The Stoics believe that true wealth isn't measured by possessions. It's measured by the quality of the people who stand beside you. When that kind of support disappears, its value becomes impossible to ignore. Seneca believed that the greatest relationships are built on mutual growth, not convenience, not control, not temporary emotions. When someone loses a person who genuinely encouraged them to become better, they often discover that finding attention is easy. Finding sincere support is rare. People may compliment you when things are going well, but very few will stand beside you during failure, uncertainty, and struggle. That kind of loyalty cannot be replaced overnight. Strong people never try to make others regret leaving. They focus on becoming the best version of themselves. If someone eventually realizes your value, that realization should come from your absence, not your persuasion. Remember this Stoic lesson. Never measure your worth by who stayed or who left. Measure it by the person you become through every experience. Because in the end, the greatest victory isn't making someone come back. It's building a life so meaningful that your peace no longer depends on whether they do. Reason number 9. They finally grew up. Sometimes, people don't come back because you changed. They come back because they did. Life has a way of teaching lessons that no advice ever could. Failure, loneliness, disappointment, and regret often become the greatest teachers. The Stoics believe that wisdom is earned through experience. A person who once chased temporary excitement may eventually begin to value stability. A person who once ignored loyalty may finally understand how rare it truly is. Growth changes what people value, and sometimes, that growth leads them back to the people they once took for granted. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that every experience has something to teach us. People change, sometimes for the better, sometimes not at all. If someone returns, don't let loneliness make the decision. Let wisdom decide. Ask yourself one question. Have they truly changed their character? Or have they simply changed their circumstances? The Stoics judged people by consistent actions, not emotional promises. If someone comes back into your life, welcome them with clear eyes, not blind hope. Forgiveness is a choice. Trust is earned. These are not the same thing. Strong people don't reopen every closed door. They first ask whether that door leads to peace or back to the same pain. Real growth is recognizing the difference. The greatest lesson of Stoicism is not about making people regret losing you. It is about becoming someone who never loses themselves. When your happiness depends on another person's presence, your peace becomes fragile. But when your happiness comes from your own character, nothing outside of you can truly take it away. That is real freedom. Never chase someone to prove your worth. Never beg someone to see your value. The right people won't require you to abandon your dignity to keep them. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep protecting your peace. Because the person you're becoming is far more important than the person who walked away. Life will bring people into your path, and life will take some of them away. Don't fear either. Every relationship teaches a lesson. Some teach you how to love. Others teach you how to let go. Both lessons make you stronger. The Stoics believe that every challenge is an opportunity to build wisdom, patience, and character. Remember this. People may come back, or they may never return. But your mission remains the same. Protect your peace. Strengthen your character. Live with dignity. And never sacrifice your self-respect for anyone's attention. Because in the end, the greatest victory isn't getting someone back. It's becoming the kind of person who no longer needs them to complete your happiness. Thank you for watching.